don't think he can do much there. I mean, listen, he's going to be fighting for 12th.
What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So guys, channel membership is now live. Link is in the description and the first comment. Do check it out. That would really help support the channel. So let's start this video with Regan Grimes, who won't be doing this upcoming Dubai Pro, unfortunately. And the reason him and his team gave was that every single week, that is very important for him to dive right back into another off-season, make some more progress, put on some more muscle in all the right areas. And the fact is, if he continues to miss his peak, like he did in 2 shows out of the 3 that he did this year, namely the New York Pro and Toronto Pro, he won't even make top 10 at the Olympia this year. And I'm just being brutally honest here. And even if we take a look at the show that he won, California Pro, and the physique that he presented there, which was undoubtedly one of his best looks of his entire career, I have to ask you guys, can that physique beat the likes of Brandon Curry, Rafael Brandao, and so many others? In my opinion, I don't think so. The reason I said Brandon is because he was top 9 at the Olympia last year, and Rafael Brandao was top 8. That being said, Regan is still one of the best bodybuilders in the entire world right now. He earned the right to step on the biggest bodybuilding stage one more time. So we fail to understand this logic presented by Shawn and Bob Ciccarello that Regan should not do the Olympia. I mean, why? Just because he's gonna be outside of that top 10? So basically these guys are suggesting that every IFBB pro who knows that there is a possibility, there is a chance of them not making into that top 10 at the Olympia, they should just skip it. I mean, why?
Does that? Do you send him to Las Vegas? Because I personally wouldn't send him to Las Vegas this year. I'd have him do these other shows where he can actually compete.
That I do agree with. I'm not so sure I would step on the Olympia stage because from what I'm seeing, and with all due respect to the the president that we're talking about, I don't think he can do much there. I mean, listen, he's going to be fighting for 12th or 15th.
So what does that say about? So what does that say about Stas?
Now, if I'm not mistaken, Bob Ciccarello himself, he qualified for the Olympia just once throughout his career, and that was in 2002, and he placed 18th at that show. So I have to ask, why did he participate in that show, even though he himself knew that there are literally no chances of him placing in that top 10? Well, I'll give you guys the reason, and it's a very simple one. Just stepping on the biggest bodybuilding stage in the world, going up against the best of the best, that in itself, that is a huge privilege that only a handful of IFBB pros enjoy, and some people even spend their entire lives just to step on the Olympia stage once. And I'm gonna say the good thing is that Regan did clap back at Bob with this cheeky comment. Now Regan is such a popular social media icon. I mean, that guy is one of the most well-known person in the fitness industry. And we all know the kind of content that he's gonna generate leading into this year's Miss Olympia. That will help him grow even more. I mean, the guy will get more opportunities in terms of more sponsorships. So it will be like a win-win for him, irrespective of whether he places in the top 10 or not. But that being said, I do have to say, he certainly can place top 10. Now, if we go by the idea presented by Shawn and Bob, that the IFBB, they should limit the men's open list at the Olympia to a maximum of only 10 guys. I really wanna know, what did you guys think about that whole scenario? Are they suggesting that the automatic Olympia qualification, that should be limited? Should an IFBB pro even prep for the Olympia, knowing damn well that he might be dead last? Or should they skip it and come back stronger next year?
Yeah, what I brought compared to what he brought to Pittsburgh, there wouldn't have been no fight for third. That would have been mine.
Yeah.
So all it takes is one bad showing, and it isn't just the fans who start doubting you. The fellow IFBB pros, your rivals, they also start to think that they have a chance now. Now I'm referring to Martin Fitzwater and how he showed up at the Pittsburgh Pro this year. We saw he came in very off, and that was a look that Martin would certainly like to forget. And Tonio Burton was asked this question regarding Martin on the Olympia TV, and he straight up said that he would have beaten Martin at the Pittsburgh Pro without any shadow of a doubt. Now keep in mind, Tonio was the guy who lost to Martin last year at the New York Pro. In fact, it wasn't even close between these two guys, and Martin came out on top quite comprehensively, and Martin improved a lot since the Neo Pro last year. But that being said, this is Tonio Burton with more added muscle, with more size, and more muscle maturity, and the win at this past Legion Sports that gave him a lot of confidence to say such kind of things out loud.
Tonio Burton is making a solid statement. If I was in Pittsburgh, I would have beaten Martin Fitzwater. Is that correct, Tonio?
Right. 100%.
Listen, Tonio's physique at the Legion Sports Festival was dominant. I don't think anybody would dispute that.
Now this also goes to show you that one guy who was in that Olympia top 4 last year and whom everybody is gonna be coming after at the Olympia this year, and his spot, that is gonna be Martin Fitzwater, because many other pros, just like Tonio Burton, they must be feeling that Martin is vulnerable at the moment and that they have a chance to move past him. Now I guess we won't have to wait till the Olympia this year to see Tonio Burton and where he is really at and whether he is good enough to be in that Olympia top 6. Him competing at this upcoming Dubai Pro against the likes of Behrouz Tabani, Nathan Diasha, possibly William Bonak, that will paint a pretty good picture on where he's gonna land at this year's Miss Olympia. Now make no mistake, Tonio Burton is coming to this upcoming Dubai Pro aiming for nothing less than the win. He even said that all Behrouz is gonna take are the side shots, and he's gonna beat Behrouz Tabani, not just in the front shots, but in the back shots too.
Poses?
Yeah.
I'll give him the side shots, but anything head on, back, I think my shape is better. I've been watching him from his last shows, previous years, and he doesn't hold his poses. He shakes a lot, and stamina isn't all that great either. So outposing him will be definitely something that I'll point out.
Now that is some serious confidence. But the thing is, if Tonio Burton is aiming for a top 5 Olympia finish, which I'm gonna say seems totally unrealistic at this point, because in order to do that, he's gonna have to beat a guy like Andrew Jack. But if he in fact is to turn that into reality, then he must win this upcoming Dubai Pro, or give Behrouz Tabani and Nathan a very serious run for their money. So we are now 10 days out from this year's Dubai Pro, and surprisingly, no one is talking about this legend, William Bonak, as a serious threat to win this upcoming Dubai Pro title. He's the only one in this lineup who has beaten Behrouz Tabani in the past, and that was last year. And you bet that William Bonak one more time is gonna come in at his 100%, because he's a guy who just never misses in terms of his peak, in terms of his conditioning. Now we know Bonak won't be the biggest guy or the widest guy on the stage, and he's gonna be among the least aesthetic physique in that potential top 5. His waist is probably gonna be the widest, but even after all that, he has a unique level of roundness, that 3D look to his muscles, that crazy density, that old man muscle quality, and that makes him so dangerous, even at the age of 41. Now it is so unbelievable how Bonac's overall flow has been looking so impeccable, especially in that front lat spread and the front double biceps. And that is mainly because he was able to bring up his quads back to that same size that he had in his prime. Now William Bonak has learned the true mystery of peaking for bodybuilding shows one after another. So can you believe that this is going to be Bonak's 5th show of this year, and the man just continues to get better and better with every passing show. And the first show that he did, that was the Arnold, Ohio, back in March. So who else feels that William Bonak, if he peaks 100% one more time, him and Behrouz Tabani, they are gonna be fighting for the top spot. So the upcoming Spin Pro that is happening this weekend, that has been kind of overshadowed by the mighty Dubai Pro, and also because of the fact that there is no big name in the lineup to challenge Toronto Pro champion Sazan Hiroati. So let's take a look at the most recent physique update from Sazan Hiroati, as he aims to finish this very long season at a very high note by winning the 2nd Pro show, not just of this year, but his entire career. So Sazan's story, that is the one of consistency and perseverance, because it took him more than 10 attempts to get his first pro win. And the more you look at Sas's career, the more you realize that if he hadn't quit back in 2018, this guy would have been on the Olympia stage multiple times by now. because I can clearly recall he was placing second behind Nathan Diasha, beating so many guys at that time, like Rafael Brandel and Lionel Bayeki back in 2018. Now he isn't the biggest guy, but he beat a bigger guy, Regan Grimes, in Toronto Pro by bringing a superb level of detail, crazy kind of conditioning and hotness. And we expect the same from him this weekend in Spain too. Now Sazan isn't a young guy, and we do not know whether he can make some noticeable improvements in his overall physique, especially in terms of size. But in case he brings a bigger and a wider back, he will be a much more dangerous competitor at the Olympia this year. So Nihat Kaya, one of the biggest sensations in the 212. He must be among the fastest growing guys in that entire pro league right now. 10 days out of his second pro show, which is gonna be this upcoming Dubai Pro. And the man is still weighing 219 pounds. And he's absolutely peeled front to back. And to think that he has developed an insane level of muscularity at such a young age of only 22. That is so unbelievable. Now, I do not think that making the weight that will be a problem for him. But him and Patrick Tour, they will have to be very careful. Because if he continues to grow at this pace, year after year, he will very soon outgrow the 212. And he's gonna have to move into the men's open class. Now Nihat has got everything. The size, the flow, the symmetry, and the density, and the muscle maturity. And that is something that he was missing last year. So that too will be improved this time around. As Nihat has been working extremely hard for the last one whole year. And the changes, they are clearly visible on his physique even now. Now it's gonna be a great rematch between him and Angel Calderon. And also Christian Zagarella. And we have to keep in mind, Angel and Christian, they will be under no pressure, as they are already qualified for the Olympia. But Nihat Kaya, on the other hand, he has to deliver here. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video, and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.